He's been locked in this machine for 70 years. Meet Paul Alexander from Texas, USA. He has spent his entire life locked inside this metal canister. But why? Well, you see, if he leaves, then he will die. When Paul was a kid, he was diagnosed with a disease called polio, causing him to be totally paralyzed. This machine is the only thing keeping Paul alive. It basically allows him to breathe, and if he left it even for 1 second, he would pass away. Amazingly, he still lives life as best as he can. He has friends who visit him and he also plays games. Thankfully, iron lung machines are no longer used, making Paul one of the last people on the planet who still lives in one of these all day, every day. This girl is crying diamonds. This is Hasna Muslimani from Lebanon. One day, this 12-year-old girl was in school when she felt something in her eye. Her mother took her to the doctor to see what was going on. The doctor was able to remove 3 crystals from her eye. It was as if Hasna had been crying diamonds. The doctor had no explanation for this. Since then, Hasna's been crying 7 to 8 crystals every day. The crystals are sharp and solid, but she feels no pain when doing this. Some believe Hasna may suffer from cystinosis. This is an amino acid metabolism disorder, which could be causing her tears to crystallize inside her eyes. This girl lived in a basketball, but you should see her now. This is Qian Hongyang from China. When she was a kid, she lost both her legs in a terrible car accident. Sadly, she's from a very poor family who could never afford prosthetic limbs. So that's why she would get around inside a basketball. She would use wooden blocks to walk around and have a basketball to sit in. Sadly, many other kids made fun of her and called her basketball girl. But after photos of her went viral, a hospital offered to give her artificial limbs for free. Today, Qian has brand new legs and can walk as normal. It's honestly amazing she was able to overcome this. Now she can walk to school and finally get an education. And she's also joined a swim team too. She definitely has come a very long way. This man turned himself into a dog. This is not a dog. It's actually a Japanese man named Toko. He spent $15,000 turning himself into a dog. He bought a human-sized dog costume and taught himself how to eat, play, and train like a dog. Toko says ever since he was a kid, he wanted to be a dog. He says he rarely tells his friends and family in case they think he's weird. I don't see what's so weird about turning into a dog. What's the problem? Toko chose the dog breed Collie. He then bought the super realistic costume that took 40 days to make. When Toko's alone at home, he relaxes, eats, and plays as a dog. He also documents all of this on social media, and in the comments, many people have said they feel the same way. They also want to become dogs and other animals. What do you think about Toko? Is he just a guy with a quirky hobby, or is he a little bit crazy? This woman has been living in water for 23 years, and the reason why is heartbreaking. This is Pataruni Ghosh from India. She wakes up every morning before sunrise and immediately runs to water. She would jump into a nearby lake and stay in it all day. She would do this all the way until sunset. Pataruni has been doing this every single day since 1998. But why? Well, the sad reason is she has a rare medical condition. This makes her entire body feel very inflamed and sore. The only thing that stops the pain is water. So that's why she spends all day, every day in this lake. Sadly, she's too poor to go to the hospital for treatment. If we can find her, I will personally pay for this woman's treatment. Hopefully, one day soon, she can live a more normal life. This man didn't bathe for 60 years, but he recently did, and he died. This is Amu Haji from Iran. He was known as the world's dirtiest man. That's because he didn't bathe for 60 years. He had a condition called ablutophobia. This is a fear of bathing. So for 60 years, Haji did not clean himself. But just a week ago, he bathed for the first time in 60 years, but sadly passed away right after. It's not exactly known what caused this 94-year-old man to pass away, but many say it was the anxiety caused by bathing for the first time in 60 years. People who are 1 in a million. This is Jyoti Amji from India. She may look like a small kid, but she's 28 years old. She is the smallest woman in the world, measuring at only 2 feet. She is now a famous actress in India. This is Jeff Dabe from the United States. He has the world's biggest hands. He can crush a can easily. He's also a professional arm wrestler too. This is Anastasia Pekreshchuk from Ukraine. She spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on having the world's biggest cheeks. But she says they're still not big enough. Looking at old photos of her, you can see just how much she's changed. This is Sultan Kozan. He's a farmer from Turkey, but he's also the world's tallest man. He's a massive 8 feet and 2 inches tall, and a few years back he even met the world's smallest man. Kids you won't believe exist. This is Connie Lloyd. This girl was born with a large tumor on her nose. This made her entire nose into a large red sphere. Only 8 babies had ever been born with this condition. Eventually Connie's parents found a doctor and the operation went well. Today Connie lives with a totally normal and healthy nose. This is An Qi from China. He has a massive birthmark on his face. When he got to the age of 6, this birthmark began growing hair, leading to some people in his village calling him a werewolf. His family did not have money to pay for medical treatment, but a local hospital said they would help Anne for free. This is Primrose Austin. When she was born, her parents were stunned by her blue-silver eyes. They put her up for adoption because of this, and in the adoption center she was called terrible names. Eventually she was adopted by an American couple. It turned out Primrose was actually blind, but today she lives a happy life with her adopted parents and siblings. Here are some people you don't want to mess with. This is Han Laoshi. He is one of the strongest men on the planet. He is an expert at kung fu, wushu, and boxing. Many say that this man is the real-life Bane. He is very muscular but also very fast. He can run at high speeds even with a tire attached to him. This man is named Wu Kuang. He is able to break out of zip ties easily. He can also chop stones and bricks in half. Wu Kuang can even break an apple just by flexing. This man is named Virto Pirbizarri. He is a bodybuilder and boxer. He is one of the strongest men in the world. This girl has a higher IQ than Einstein. You may think Albert Einstein or Stephen Hawking are the smartest people to ever live, but this 10-year-old girl from Mexico has a higher IQ than both of them. This is Adhara Perez Sanchez. She has an IQ of 162. Einstein and Hawking's IQs were 160. She is already studying engineering at a university, and she hopes to one day become an astronaut and colonize Mars. But she has not had an easy life. She has Asperger's syndrome and was bullied because of this. But in spite of this, she never gave up, and she's still working towards her 2 degrees in university. All this at the age of just 10. This man lived for 82 years and never saw a woman once. This is Mihailo Tolotos, born in 1856. When he was only 4 hours old, his mother passed away. Nobody knew who his family was. So a group of men took him to a monastery atop of Mount Athos in Greece. But how did he never see any women? Well, no woman has been to Mount Athos in 1,000 years. It's illegal for women or animals to enter the mountain. This is to ensure celibacy for the monks that live in the mountain. It basically means the monks can't get busy with women or animals. Mihailo Tolotos did not leave the mountain for 82 years. And in 1938 he passed away, having never seen a woman once in his entire life. Can any of you guys relate to Mihailo?